built like a horse like Josh Allen.
Is Josh Allen built like a horse?
Is that what you were saying last week?
I mean, I feel like you were saying that.
That was a different word I used.
Oh.
Said he's a horse.
Hung like a horse is what
So
I think
he
he
said
meant.
built. I think built is more
I think he meant hung.
No, I think he meant hung.
So Josh Allen is just a horse, and Trevor Lawrence looks like one. So
Yeah,
does
he's
Trevor
a horse
Lawrence
'cause you
look like
ride-
Josh Allen?
No, he performs
We're
like
getting
a horse.
caught in our bits. Okay. So Josh Allen's reliable like a horse.
Yes.
Okay.
And Trevor Lawrence looks like a horse.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like there's like a third piece of the puzzle that we're missing that we'll stumble upon.
Lamar
in like
Jackson.
A year thing. Okay.
Deshaun Watson.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Guys on Sports. There
up?
are three of us today. It is a Tuesday. We are so happy to be here. I'm excited. Are you excited?
Yeah.
You know what? I need this. I need some therapy today.
Well, you're not getting it here.
Oh no, I'm getting therapy. I'm gonna vent a little bit.
Uh-oh.
First vent. This desk. Damn it.
Why is the desk getting
Today's
a shot?
the day.
Yeah.
Today's the day.
You guys don't see it. But we're standing on things back here because this desk was built
Yeah, we're standing on business.
by a Nephilim, a giant, a biblical giant, and I got to stand on things just to be seen. So
Yeah, no, it's not great.
Yeah. Well, hey, we see you. We hear you. TikTok Take is starting right now.
Time to check my social media, yeah. To see who loves me online.
One comment today. It is from LKRHR34
Get a name.
talking about Phil's I should draft James Cook over Breece Hall argument. And you were saying, hey, not a lot of weapons. Cook's going to be the only guy in the kitchen, X, Y, and Z.
only
Was
cook
I
in the
saying
kitchen.
that?
I see
Yeah.
one.
I didn't say that.
You did? You did in fact
Well,
say
I don't
that.
think I said that.
In fact, there's a video where someone commented on it, and that
We'll
comment
see.
says,
We'll see.
loading the box versus the Bills, wide receiver room is weak. Unless they do something before the season, I say beat me with the pass, Josh Allen.
Yep.
Okay.
You put 8 in the box?
I didn't know his LKR17 was a D coordinator. Now.
So yeah,
Bullshit.
there's
Come
an
on.
argument to be made, and honestly, I was on the James Cook.
Yeah.
I don't know. You were selling. I was buying what you were selling
I'm
a few
still
weeks
selling.
ago,
I'm still selling.
and I do got to say, like, you know, although I do like Kincaid, and they definitely bring in a wide receiver now that Diggs is officially out of town.
Yeah.
I do think, like, yeah, why not make James Cook stress a little bit?
Yeah, because anybody if you're defensive coordinator, and you come into the first half of the season with your plan being to load the box for James Cook, you should be fired. That's why. Because there's no defensive coordinator going into next season that their plan
Yeah, let me stop James Cook.
is
not
going to be
Josh
stop the
Allen.
James Cook train and that we're winning this game. No. Now, halfway through the season,
Good point.
if he's doing well and they adjust, then maybe you have to look at things differently. But no, nobody's coming into they still got to watch out for Josh Allen because Josh Allen is still going to do Josh Allen things.
Yeah. They got to draft somebody.
He's a bull. Is that what you said?
No, horse.
No, you
You say horse?
Yeah.
it was better when I did it.
Was it better? 'Cause I
Yeah, it
don't
was.
think
The way
I
you
think
just did was terrible.
it was a great spot on impersonation of Phil.
So
No, I could-
Guy's a horse.
why do you think it was a clip?
Because he's
Because it
making
was
fun of
good.
you.
No, it was good.
Clips are normal.
I just
was
wanted to
good.
Photoshop Josh Allen's face onto a horse, to be honest.
You should have. It was great.
I did. Okay, cool.
He's a horse.
Yeah, he's a stallion. All right, so some
a stud.
say I look like Josh Allen.
No,
They're saying
you
it.
say it.
Some are saying it.
And maybe your girlfriend when, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to go there because I
No,
have
she
too
be-
much
she-
respect for
She'd be
Samara.
calling Joe Burrow's name, not Josh Allen. All right, well, hey, that was TikTok Take. Thanks for commenting. We'll continue to highlight and shout you out. If you have something silly to say, something serious to say, or something in between, at GON Podcast everywhere you currently browse the internet.
Be a silly goose.
I wonder what we're doing today. I'm sure that's what people on their phones are asking. And guess what we are doing? We're going to be talking about the AFC West. We're going to be
Glorious.
Are we going to talk about?
What's up, brother?
What's up,
Thrive?
brother? Special teams.
Are we going to talk about Thrive?
That's correct. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm ready to roll.
Sorry.
What
Dude,
is
it's a
what is the
Tuesday.
wording? Special players, special
I don't know what that means.
special teams.
I've
special
seen it. I
players,
don't know what it
special
is.
plays.
Special teams. special needs.
What is that from?
It's a streamer.
Yeah, it's a streamer.
Okay.
Yeah, we
He's actually, I
You know,
I gotta
officially,
be honest, he's
we've-
really funny.
we officially probably just killed that trend.
You think so?
Good.
We right here probably people watching probably, if anyone's watching, if people are probably like, yeah, this is not cool anymore. Or like, yeah, this is it.
That's fair.
He's like on ESPN and everything. He came out of nowhere.
I don't watch ESPN.
Yeah. Well, anyways, yes, thank you for the Thrive plug. So if you are currently not doing your daily fantasy with Thrive, you should be.
Should be.
Our users, our first-time users, either get to type in GUYS, promo code GUYS, GUYS, or
Love that.
scan the QR code on the screen, click the link in the bio, and you get up to $250 matched on your first instant deposit. You also get to take benefit of some free prop squares to add to your parlays. We've got things like Pat Mahomes, 0.5 passing, LeBron James, 0.5 rebound. You can add that to a parlay, make some money. 250 of that is matched on the first deposit. Just scan the QR code, click the link on the description, and you'd help yourself out. You're helping us out too. So yeah, daily fantasy, do it through Thrive.
Imagine you get LeBron, 0.5 rebounds.
Yeah,
and
just
then,
smack it onto a parlay. Even if it's like not a big boost on odds, it's something, right?
yeah, let me
Yeah.
finish, right? So imagine you do that, and then he just has like a rest day.
That would suck.
How pissed off. That would suck.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, that's fair.
You're not selling Thrive.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Because I
How you
feel
mean?
like, you're kind of like saying, well,
But the people
Thrive
can see.
knows.
Listen, the people can see it through if you're being fair. I'm just saying something that probably could happen. So
could
check
happen.
check
Could
those.
happen.
Could
10
happen.
minutes before tip off.
Are we going to do, by the way, speaking of LeBron James, are we going to do a basketball episodes?
For what?
We've been kind
I
of
mean, the
talking a little bit
playoffs,
about
yeah.
it.
We're gonna
there's
do
somebody I know-
NHL one.
Somebody I know rented a suite. It's got 20 tickets to Game 3 of the Magic Cavaliers game.
Oh, this is first time. This is breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news.
Yeah,
Maybe
breaking
we
news.
should. You know what we should do? We should see if we could. We'll take a guest
Will we?
from our audience,
Okay.
but like there should be some kind of contest around.
They
it.
can't be friends with any of us.
No. Well, I mean that definitely
That's our
limits our audience.
Well, I mean, then it's just kind of taking a buddy.
Hey, all three of our teams made the playoffs.
Yeah, but I'll be honest.
Mm.
The Cavs don't look good.
Hey, Magic beat the Cavs, play the Knicks, beat the Knicks. Oh,
Well, no,
Magic.
because I think it's going through Boston.
Yeah, it'll go through Boston.
Yeah.
Well,
Now I will say this.
well, we'll go through Boston. Oh, the playoffs.
The lower seed.
Well, the lower seed.
Yeah, the lower seed will go to. Are you guys the bottom of the bracket there? Or no.
we're the
No,
fifth.
we're
you're the
4 or
fourth.
5.
no, so you would play us
Yeah. Okay.
I,
so yeah,
I would like to beat the Magic and then have a.
and then lose to us. Yes,
Well,
I don't know about
that's
that.
very polite.
I'm
of
pretty
you.
sure about that.
I don't know
Sorry.
about that. So
By the way, saying
so here's what I'll say. We don't have a lot of minutes to see because they were injured or Evan Mobley was injured quite a bit. But when we had Mobley and Jared Allen, we really controlled the Magic.
Well, I
Okay.
mean, it's
Yeah.
not tough to do.
Whoa.
No,
Magic
no,
are one of the
Magic
best
are a good
defensive teams in the league, and
They're
also
a good team.
Franz
Paolo's
and-
real.
We're gonna
Franz and
see. I like
Beccaro.
Paolo. I like Paolo.
Yeah,
I like
Paolo's
Paolo.
real.
Yeah, so get fucked.
Well, we'll see. We'll
Only,
see what happens in the
he's
playoffs.
an Italian, by the way, guys. Just want
Yeah,
Make that out there.
team
Doesn't look Italian.
lights are too bright.
What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say he doesn't
like
look
people
Italian.
can't be Italian. Racist right there, man.
Maybe.
I don't even know where to go with that.
He
Hey.
he wanted to make a big deal about it. Hey,
So this is a fantasy football show, and we're going to be talking about. If you've been watching us, thanks. We've been talking about the AFC East. We've been talking about the
Definitely
AFC
been watching.
South. We've been talking about the AFC North, and we're rounding out the AFC with the AFC West.
it's a real dreadful division.
It's a real dreadful division. We ask you, try and pick one player from that entire division to be the fantasy MVP of that division.
not named Patrick Mahomes.
Not well, even Patrick Mahomes. I don't think is.
I mean, Patrick
Yeah, I
Mahomes
know, but
is
that's
top
what
10.
everybody would
Well, I
pick,
think there's
yeah.
only one player that if you were gonna say it, I'm not gonna say yet because I'm gonna see if you guys say him.
Okay.
There is one player who theoretically,
Theoretically.
I think you could say could be the MVP of the entire fantasy season.
Oh yeah,
So,
I
but we'll
think
see.
I know who you're talking about.
Stay tuned. Don't forget to say
I have
who
no
it is.
idea who he's talking about.
I never.
That's called a
forget.
cliffhanger. An elephant never forgets. So yeah, so we're gonna pick one player
You just
to.
called me fat.
We're gonna.
I got that.
We're gonna pick a player that is going to be absolutely better than everybody else in that division, fantasy production wise. And then at the end of that, we're gonna pick a player to avoid that you should
Avoid
not
this
draft
guy.
because this guy could potentially be
Stay away.
fantasy bust. So yeah, Phil, 4 is yours.
Wow, what a jerk. You know I don't have my. All right, so
Stop sitting to
my
the left of me.
MVP. My MVP. So like I think there's a few guys, a few names here that are just you could throw out there and people agree with you, and that's what I'm trying to not do. So
Okay.
with that in mind. I'm gonna say, based on where he's being drafted, we talked about this right before we started. I'm gonna go with Devontae Adams because I think for the player that he is, if we can get some credible quarterback play,
Okay.
I still think that Devontae Adams could produce as like a top 5, top 4 wide receiver.
Okay.
I think Aiden O'Connell, if they go out and get another, I mean, Aiden O'Connell was up and down, but
They've got
he
the
threw the
mustache.
ball. He does
they
have the
got-
stash.
No.
No, they
They've
got
the
Gardner
mustache.
That doesn't excite me though.
No, see,
That's better than Aiden.
That doesn't
that's-
excite me.
That's better than the kid.
That does excite me from a fantasy perspective.
Yeah. And from a physical
I
standpoint.
feel like
for
he
Brian.
could be.
Oh, no, 100%. He was
I
number
think
5
I
on my
like him
hottest
as a
QB.
player, but I don't know if he's the right fit for Adams, if that makes sense.
Pittman did okay with Minshew.
Pittman's not Adams.
Well, exactly. I think Adams will be that much better.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think he needs a certain type of quarterback that I don't think Minshew is.
Aaron Rodgers.
Well, no,
I'm
Aaron
gonna say-
Rodgers-esque, like
I'm going to say this is the guy.
an
to
accurate
me.
guy, a smart guy. I think Gardner is more of like
He's a gunslinger.
he's just making plays. I don't know if it jives with Adams' game, but I mean, he's better than O'Connell. So
I think, like, to me, this was the player. If you're going to say anybody in this
He has the
section,
talent, yeah.
he has a talent, and I like the mustache. You know that. I like the mustache because that's his game. He's a gunslinger. He's going to throw it deep. That's what Devontae excels at. You look at his games last year with the Colts. He got almost every game was absolutely a barn burner. Now, most of those games he had 3 to 4 touchdowns, 2 to 3 interceptions. But to me, that plays great for Devontae to have a pretty outstanding season.
So are you a mustache rider? You ride for mustache?
You waited
Right for
during
mustache?
my entire dialogue just to come up with that corny joke.
He wasn't hearing a thing you
You
said.
mustache cowboy. I didn't
All he
listen
was
to
doing
anything.
was like blah blah mustache.
mustache cowboy.
Okay, so Devontae Adams, can be an MVP.
Yeah, I think he
Fantasy
can.
MVP.
Yeah, I think obviously a lot of things got to go right,
Yeah.
but I do think he's the one guy in the division that's not named Patrick Mahomes that has
The
the
ceiling.
pedigree, the ceiling to kind of be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, if you're gonna roll the dice on somebody in this division that's not at the quarterback, I think he's the guy.
That's a good segue for me because I'm thinking the same thing with a different wide receiver from a different team in this division. I'm going to go with a recently acquired Hollywood Brown, who apparently this is one of those guys for me in the offseason that I'm starting to make a narrative for. Last year's Calvin Ridley. This year could be Hollywood Brown. That's a high risk. You got high floors there. You got high ceilings. With Rice having the off the field issues could benefit him in both ways. If Rice doesn't play, Hollywood Brown has proven that he has sporadic high octane fantasy performances without D-Hop in Arizona.
There's a bunch of words.
Yeah, look at that boom vocab. And then we've also seen with Hollywood having another wide receiver to play kind of second fiddle to him, or Hollywood be the second fiddle to whoever that is. He's also benefited because of defensive coverage he's not getting.
I got 5 words for you:
Okay.
Jew, Smith, Shoe, Stir.
Yeah. Could be Hollywood Brown.
That's
4
what I
words.
think.
It's like 4 words
yeah,
and like a
that's
syllable.
It's 5.
4
5
words in a
syllables.
syllable.
It's really 3
you were
words.
reading, you were reading TikTok comments, weren't you? Somebody said the same thing.
Did they?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't actually.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying
Great
that
minds.
Hollywood could beat Juju in KC. I think it's better. I think Hollywood had a really good rookie season that can be built off of, and Mahomes is throwing him the
not better
freaking ball.
than Juju's though.
I mean, Juju was
No.
coming off his second team. Like he was never really.
That's true.
The difference between
But isn't
Juju and
so is
But Hollywood.
No, so is Hollywood
difference
Brown.
between
Bad
Juju
point.
and Hollywood
Hollywood-
Brown
point
is,
for me.
No, Hollywood's got a younger
listen.
step. He's a little bit quicker. He's had bigger boom games. He
Yeah.
doesn't have knee issues
I
like
mean,
Juju had.
Juju had 2 other, at that point, I'm not saying that they still were, but he had 2 other potential number 1 wide receivers with him, which took all the pressure off Juju.
Fair.
Because he had Deontay, and I'm blanking on the other guy who's gone down in
Antonio
flames.
Brown.
No,
He
there
did-
was
he did
another.
play with Antonio
He did
Brown.
start with Antonio Brown.
That's right. You're
And
right.
those were his best.
Yeah.
Those were his
Best
best
years.
games.
To
Yeah.
me, it's a different player. Hollywood, I think, actually has done more with worse quarterbacks without.
So you're calling
any-
Lamar Jackson a bad quarterback?
I
That
don't
was his
think
best-
Lamar Jackson is a great wide receiver quarterback.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Lamar and Hollywood Brown had a good season. Hollywood, when he was healthy and when Kyler was healthy, had good games.
There's the big caveat, though.
What?
When he's healthy. He's almost never healthy for a whole season.
He's not on injury
And he's
report.
small.
There hasn't been any.
It's his third team. He's a little longer in the tooth.
He hasn't had any lingering injuries. He's still young. He's got the
I'm gonna
best
give
quarterback in the league throwing to him
Yeah,
right now.
two syllables. Mahomes.
He's got no other
He's a
competition.
magic maker.
And if he does have competition, that helps him too because of defensive play.
Well, we were saying the same thing about Marquez Valdez-Scantling last year.
I think Hollywood Brown's a lot more talented.
Sky Moore.
Sky Moore, yeah.
I was never on Sky Moore.
The other guy that they got from the Giants, the human joystick?
Oh, Richie James.
Richie James, you could poo-poo that all you want. Richie
the
James
other guy
had like
they got,
90
they traded
catches the year
for the
before.
Giants. He was a rookie 2 seasons ago. Gosh.
Oh, Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, we were saying the same things. And you're right, it didn't play out. But none of those guys have the proven track record of Hollywood Brown.
Proven track record.
Teams are coming out and
He
trading
does have
for
a track record. And I'm sorry, but the track record is mediocre and sometimes a little bit
Mediocre.
better.
I like that.
What'd I
like it
say?
fried.
sounds good.
Mediocre?
I'm hungry.
Yeah, you did say okra. Maybe you're hungry.
Hey, listen.
I get it.
I'm from New Jersey. We have a certain way we say things. I'm sorry if I have a little bit more culture in the way I speak than you guys.
All right.
So
That's white people.
Hollywood's been traded to be a safety blanket for teams that are like needing a wide receiver. I mean, him going
and
to
then they let him walk.
yeah, it doesn't matter. But when he's been on the field and he's been good,
He's been good.
He's averaging like
He's good.
he could be a fantasy MVP.
He's not Devontae Adams.
Quarterback play is a lot better in Kansas City.
That's true.
This is the Chiefs have an insane defense. They have a really good run game. Their offensive line is really good.
All have nothing to do with him being a fantasy producing wide receiver.
That team is built for a wide receiver just to do their job.
Listen,
and I think,
if you look at it,
Hollywood
though,
Browns do.
You look at it last year, you look at Hollywood Brown. He only had 51 receptions, 500 and something yards.
Big numbers.
He had 101 targets. The issue is he had the lowest possible catch rate on the other 50.
Because he's small.
It's not his small. It's a subpar QB performance in
It's,
Arizona.
not a lot to throw to, guys.
I mean, he seemed to be able to catch from Lamar, right? There's upside here.
I'm just yanking your chain.
Hollywood's getting Andy Reid and Mahomes and a really good team. If anyone's a problem, it's him. And this is why it's a risk. But if I'm looking at who could be the fantasy MVP of this entire division,
Devontae Adams.
if it's not Devontae Adams, and it very well couldn't be for different reasons, but it's the same amount of risk. Yeah, Hollywood Brown.
Nothing to see here.
Hollywood Brown, you heard it here. I think it's still a fantasy steal, but that's another conversation.
Both of those are decent answers. The correct answer,
Okay.
my answer, it's Pacheco.
Ah.
It could be no one but Pacheco. This guy is, first of all, does anybody run as purposeful as this guy?
He looks like an angry
He does.
toddler.
He looks like an angry something.
He's high stepping.
He almost 1,000 yards last season, but very few rushes, 4.6 yard per average rush, which I love. Also can catch the ball out of the backfield. I think Hollywood Brown, we don't know what's going to happen with Rice, but if he comes back, it's actually going to clear more lanes for him. I think we're looking at probably 1,200 yards on the ground, another 300 to 400 yards through the air. He had 9 touchdowns last year. I think this year we could see an uptick. He's one of the few players that was good to great in fantasy production and has a way to take a step up.
Yeah, so that's the only question. I like Pacheco too. But why?
He had 100.
Why would he have more yardage and more touchdowns this year?
Because he had less than 200 rushes last year.
So why is he going to have more?
Because I think that he's the clear featured back now. They know that he can handle it. If you look at his load, second half of the year, it increased. Don't look at that kind of load. I know he's being perverted, but
I didn't say
his per game carries went up. And so I think that they understand now this guy can handle 200, 230
So let me
rushes.
ask you this.
Here's a real fact. No Jerick McKinnon, by the way. So receptions are going to another running back. And
That's
if it's
true.
not Pacheco, it's CEH. And is it really going to be CEH?
Well, why not Sky Moore? But what I would say is, are
Or the
we
backfield.
factoring in the target monster, possible MVP, Hollywood Brown into this?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, because why is he going to get more carries? They bring in a guy like Brown, who you say could be the MVP, of this
Well,
division.
Brown said it, not
Why
me.
would his carries
Browns replacing.
increase?
That's true. It's a different argument
Yeah,
for him.
because
but Browns are
you have to look at how many carries Jerick McKinnon had, how many carries CEH, how many carries Isaiah.
That's fair. No,
They were
and
worried
that's-
about Isaiah. They were worried about could he hold up. But when they gave him the ball at the end of the season, he showed he can hold up.
I
And
think
that's so
that's
I think going into this year,
fair.
they let Jerick go. So it's going to be him and CEH. I think he's good for 210, which is 20 more rushes.
To me, maybe not.
Hey, that's a fair point, but we're going
Yeah, I
on
know,
our
I know.
projections.
I
I mean,
know. I'm
you're
in the
just
mood today
upset
to
because
tear it down a little bit.
No, you're upset because I had the clear right answer.
I look upset.
Wow, you always look upset, to be honest.
It's a superpower.
Hollywood Brown is going to be replacing production.
Who's?
I mean, Rice might not be there. MVS is.
You know
like
what?
Oh,
Crazy.
another one.
45.
Neither one of those guys.
Listen, Rice,
okay.
Rice is
I'm
legitimately
telling you,
in trouble.
there are like
No, I'm saying, but that
looks
production.
there are
bad.
X's and you want to talk about inherited shit. X's
Yeah.
and O's from last year's game plan are just literally not going to be there.
I agree, but that doesn't. We can't just. All right. So obviously we're projecting. So if we're being, I'm not jerking your chain around. Being serious. Yes, the targets should be there, but we also know that that's not going to always happen that way. So this doesn't mean he's getting funneled all those targets.
I just think Hollywood's quick. Andy Reid's going to find a way to get him the ball. They haven't had a wide receiver one in a few years. They didn't need it because they won a Super Bowl without it. But
I think he'll be good.
yeah.
I just don't know if he could rise to be like the best fantasy player in the division. That's what I'm saying.
And the argument really is because this entire division kind of sucks. There's not a lot to pick from.
Well, there's just so many losses. If you look at like the fact of we think Gardner will be okay, but we don't know. Air Bear, normally a great choice, but he lost both wide receivers and his running back.
Whoa.
You know?
This
Let's
is
get
good.
ahead of ourselves.
It's a good little segue. Before we get into the players that you should avoid, we're going to talk a little bit about another partner of the show, Chalkboard. Thank you for
Chalky.
being a partner of the show. Click the link in the bio, scan the QR code on screen to benefit from an entirely free fantasy football group chat. We do a lot of cool things in there. Not only do we post all of our videos, that's ruining the audio probably. Not only do we post all of our videos for the archive of insane wisdom that we bestow upon you each week, you also get to take advantage of an entire community of 300 plus people. You can ask questions 24/7, just rattle ideas and opinions for fantasy off each other. Rocky's got his cheat sheets, Phil's got his start sits. Nope, Phil's got his picks, and Mark's got his start sits. It's all there. You're seeing on the screen right now. Scan the QR code, click the link in the bio. Helps us, helps you. Do it. Okay. And Phil, who should we avoid in the AFC West?
All right. Well, you alluded to it. I'm sorry. I got Red Bull burps coming up.
Gives you wings. We're
So,
not sponsored by Red Bull. We should be.
Pains me to say this about Mr. Air Bear, but I do think people have a high opinion of Air Bear, and I think with the new coach coming in, I think a lot of people are going to think, oh, they're going to be a wagon this year, and they might be. But I do think
In a different way.
missing the two wide receivers, number one, and more importantly, just the type of game that Harbaugh likes to play. We've seen it when he was in the NFL last time with Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick. And yes, those guys are not as talented as passers, although Alex Smith was a number one overall draft pick and was a pretty good passer. But I'll venture out to say not as good as Herbert or Air Bear. I do think they're going to be a much more ground and pound, ball control, tough team, right?
Gus Edwards.
So I don't think that bodes necessarily well for Mr. Air Bear. Is he still going to be good? I think he'll have a great season, though, like if we're talking about regular football. But I don't think that he's going to be lighting up the scoreboard. You know, I think they're going to play physical football. They get close in the red zone. They're going to run the ball. And, you know, Harbaugh might still go out and get J.J. McCarthy. His guy.
I do think that Herbert could have his best season as a pro
Yeah.
because of the way that they're playing, and they're not going to air it out. Coaches, Brandon Staley, they have Anthony Lynn before then.
Anthony Lynn.
Defensive guys that are saying, wow, I have this stud of a quarterback. Let's throw the ball 45 times a game. So, yeah, stats and, oh, wow, look, Herbert's really good at throwing the football, but that's not equating to a successful season. So, yeah, I agree with this. I think take him down a little bit.
Yeah.
Avoid him at his ADP. Not going to be a terrible player. We're not saying he's going to be a bust, but avoid Herbert unless he falls to you.
No, I think he's a player who could be drafted as a premium quarterback and finish a lot more like Patrick Mahomes finished last year, around that 12, maybe 10 to 12 range.
And there's a lot of guys you can get around there way later.
Well, and the thing is, too, like, they've signed him to a big contract, right?
Yeah.
They're in purgatory, absolute hell as far as from a salary cap. They almost had to trade. They traded a couple, but they almost had to trade even more. They let Austin Eckler leave, Keenan McCardle leave.
They let
Keenan McCardle is crazy.
Keenan McCardle, that's a callback.
They let their number. They let their wide receiver 1, their wide receiver 2, their tight end 1, and their RB1 all leave in the offseason.
But this is why I think that, honestly, I could see JJ being drafted, because it's the only way that Harbaugh may see it possible to win is to draft a quarterback that's on the rookie minimum, trade Air Bear for some
They
picks.
trade Air Bear, they get a haul, and he rebuilds that roster in the way he wants it.
Yep.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. I know people think that's crazy, but they haven't won with Air
They're
Bear.
considering it. They're
It's
talking
crazy,
about it, at
but
least.
it's not crazy when you look at the mismanagement of that salary cap in LA. I always want to say, LA. I think it is. And Harbaugh, the dude threw 12 times a game last year and won a national championship.
Yeah, let's. If I'm taking a quarterback out of LA, I'm taking Stafford. I like Stafford this year better than I like Herbert to put up numbers, because they're going to throw the damn ball. He's got Nakua. He's going to have a healthy cup. Sean McVay is going to scheme the shit out of that offense. Harbaugh, I mean, we kind of already know what his game's going to be. It's going to be play action.
Yeah, it's never been exciting.
Yeah.
It's never been a throwing, and the crazy thing is he's kind of known as a quarterback whisperer, but name a quarterback that made perform in college.
That's
Again.
the one.
Whispered too.
That's the one caveat, though, is that I think that at least in the NFL, we've seen him play to his quarterback strengths, right? So Kaepernick, they got him on the read option a lot. They got Smith off the play action a lot, built his confidence up. So with a guy that I think is probably more talented of a thrower than any of those guys, does he lean into that a little more?
Well, I think
that's the unseen thing.
I think from a skill standpoint, honestly, Justin might be the quarterback I think has, to me, I think he might be the pure 1-1 in ability.
Okay.
Like I just look at the guy. I don't see a lack in his game. He throws to corners, tight windows. He's got a decent arm. He's
big.
tall.
Yeah.
He can run when needed. Like, to me, he's kind of everything. He's more accurate than Josh Allen.
Good hair.
He's every bit good hair.
Everything
doesn't look like a horse like T-Law.
Yeah, it's a bad
Doesn't
thing.
look like a horse like T-Law. Isn't built like a horse like Josh Allen.
Is Josh Allen built like a horse?
Is that what you were saying last week?
I mean, I
I
feel
didn't
like
say
you were
built.
saying that.
That was a different word I used.
Oh.
Said he's a horse.
Hung like a horse is what
So
I
No,
think
he
he
said
meant.
built. I think built is more
I think he meant hung.
No, I think he meant
So
hung.
Josh Allen is just a horse, and Trevor Lawrence looks like one. So
Yeah,
does
he's a
Trevor
horse
Lawrence
'cause you
look like
ride-
Josh Allen?
No, he performs
We're
like
getting
a horse.
caught in our bits.
He gets caught. He's a horse because he always produce. You ride him.
So, but if you produce like a horse, you have to be built like one.
No, you don't. You just got to produce like
So
one.
he's just a horse,
He's a horse, yeah.
and Trevor Lawrence looks like horses.
All right, so the whole Josh Allen's a horse thing, okay, is back in the Old West. You would ride your horse
Off
city
in the
to city,
sunset. Yeah.
miles apart, and you relied on the horse.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, you could rely on in reference to the conversation. Year to year, he's a horse. He's just going to be the same guy. It's about reliability, okay?
Okay. So Josh Allen's reliable like a horse.
Yes.
Okay.
And Trevor Lawrence looks like a horse.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like there's like a third piece of the puzzle that we're missing that we'll stumble upon.
Lamar
in like
Jackson.
A year thing. Okay.
Deshaun Watson.
No, he likes different. I almost said
I
the
mean,
other
there's a
one.
lot of witnesses
He likes
that can tell
horse.
us. Yeah.
Horses.
All right.
All right. Where are we? We are
Thank
at
you. Next.
me.
Yeah.
So I debated this a little bit. I'm going to avoid Cortland Sutton, who was probably
Hate to see it.
my favorite fantasy player to have on my roster last year because of how high his floor was. He was getting almost a touchdown a game. Take 12 to 13 points, put your flex. That's what you're expecting every week. And what you got from Cortland Sutton, there's just a lot more to be concerned about. One, his injury history. He is getting a little bit long in the tooth, as Phil would say. But it also is no Jerry Jeudy, and it's no Russell Wilson, who I think had a decent year last year that no one is really we're mentioning it, but big media is saying Russell Wilson sucked, and He was better than sucked.
Big media sucks because they just run with narratives, and that's all it is.
So yeah,
Screw you, big media.
I'll give you a math equation, right? So Jared Stidham plus no Jerry Jeudy equals avoid Cortland Sutton.
I mean, I want to argue with you, but I'm going to let you live.
I see one of the lowest ceilings of a fantasy
Here's
football
what I'll
player.
say. To push back just
Let me do
bit.
that one more time for the clip.
Right.
I don't see a higher. You see, you got me all twirled up.
Oh, the Klimt.
No. What?
He doesn't know what that means. Yeah.
Oh, big word. I don't see a lower. I'm not even gonna do it anymore.
gone.
I lost
It's
the
gone.
energy.
No,
Fuck
here's
you.
what I'll
Fuck
say.
you, man. It really cooked me there.
Before Jerry Jeudy was drafted,
Yeah.
Cortland Sutton was rostered on fantasy teams, and he was the same player. I don't think Jerry Jeudy made anything about Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton's size and ability to high point a ball is what makes him
Touchdown worthy.
a guy that you want. Yeah, and I don't see. So I think the thing that holds you back is, here's what I think. I think Cortland Sutton value is going to drop accordingly because of what you're saying and where you're going to get him. I still think he's going to be worth it because when they do get in the red zone, he's going to get his targets in the end zone for sure.
Okay.
And he's going to be their number one receiver and all that jazz. And he's capable because he did it when Jeudy wasn't there. And who was the quarterback then? Do we remember?
Drew Lock.
Yeah. So I think Cortland Sutton maybe to avoid if he was getting drafted where he was last year, but if he begins to drop, I think you grab him.
Yeah, I mean ADPs are a little too early to like call law right now. But
Sorry
yeah,
to poop on your.
no, I would just say I have no interest in drafting Cortland Sutton. If he makes it worth my while, then sure I'll draft him. But
So
yeah,
what
I
round
think
would
you're
you
both
draft him
kind
in?
of saying the same thing.
I would draft Cortland Sutton like the 10th round.
Oh wow.
10th. That's deep.
Yeah.
No, I would not. I would probably start. I'm trying to think where the top flight receivers go. To me, this year, even if he goes back to the mean a little bit, I still think he could be a top 15 wide
If
receiver.
I see him at the end of the 7th, 8th round, I'd take him.
8th I could see.
I
Early
even think
8th.
6th, I might go for him
It
and take a
depends. Like,
flyer.
it really depends on
early.
how you built your team. But if he would be my 3rd wide receiver. I feel comfortable.
I would draft him as my 4th, maybe 5th.
Yeah.
That's If you got him there, I mean, he's a steal.
Well, yeah.
But
yeah.
I still think
Again,
he's
if
going to
it's
get.
not worth my while, I just don't want Cortland Sutton.
Who else is catching balls?
I just think his ceiling was
KJ.
his ceiling was super high, and I think the ceiling got low, and I think the floor is low too. I don't see anything that gets me tantalized.
Jared Stidham is
Tantalized.
he's a pro.
Tantalized.
He's been a backup.
He does
for,
play in the football league.
I'm saying a lot of time when you have a career backup, that means he's not going to be great, but they're going to get on the field and they'll score. What were we going to say? They're like 10 to 15 points a game. They'll average.
Yeah.
Maybe a touchdown, a couple field goals a game. More than likely, he's going to have 3 or 4 targets in the end zone every game. And he's going to probably get like 7
They're
to 8
going to
targets
try
a
to
game.
force the ball.
Yeah, I just think he's the guy, but I mean, he's questionable on injury report today as we speak. What
That's fair.
happens when he is the number one without anybody else on his team?
For a
Jared
big
Stidham
receiver,
He's done that, though.
for
so
a big
that's what I'm saying.
receiver, he is somebody who's hurt
What,
a
4 or
lot,
5 years ago?
which is surprising.
Alshon Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he was good, but we're talking about
No, I'm
somebody
saying
that
that
hasn't won a
him
Super
always
Bowl.
being hurt. That's what we were saying.
Who?
Yeah, and I don't think we're not
No,
saying
we're not saying good things.
that he was good, like
Alshon
as
Jeffrey
good
was
as
good.
not as good as Cortland, not for as long.
What? Alshon
He had
Jeffrey.
Alshon Jeffrey was
He had 2 good seasons.
About the same, yeah, in Chicago mostly.
Alshon Jeffrey is a better receiver than Cortland Sutton.
No.
That's not a debate.
That's ridiculous.
Well, one, he's got a Super Bowl ring, and two, his stats
Well,
are better.
I mean, that
is-
doesn't mean-
His stats are better.
It's a team sport.
Yeah, I'm not arguing the ring thing.
And he's got better stats.
He had a longer career. I mean,
Oh,
don't
yeah.
we have to wait and actually let Cortland
Yeah, that's
catch
fair.
up?
Yeah.
Today, I'm taking Alshon Jeffrey.
Okay.
I'll bring him out of retirement, and I'll cut Cortland.
Ex Bears fan.
This is still. You better clip this, but you're saying you'll take a retired Jeffrey
Hell yeah.
over Cortland.
That's
One of the
great.
best Super Bowl speeches I've ever seen in my
Well,
life.
what the hell does that have to do with anything?
Just all around better.
Should
Anyway,
have had him.
can I go?
The last 50 years.
Because I feel like
Yeah, who
we're-
should
you've
you
definitely
avoid?
petered
About
out.
to come on himself.
Yeah. So the guy to avoid, and I don't think I'm going to get any arguments against this. Alexander Madison.
Who's that?
Yeah, exactly.
I've
Got
got an
picked up
argument.
by the Las Vegas Raiders. The
Raiders.
guy is just never performed. We all wanted to believe. We felt like last year.
I don't believe.
Mark put him in his top 12.
Yeah, Mark did. We
He's
all
sleeping
thought
on
he
Mark's
could do
couch
something
right
in
now.
Minnesota, and
Mark.
he shit the bed last year. He was given the lion's share. He had 180 rushes, averaged 3.9 yards per rush, which for a running back just isn't going to cut it. Definitely not a number one running back. I was a little bit surprised that Las Vegas got him, actually picked him up. I don't know they didn't overpay for him, but to me, there's just a lot of unknowns in Las Vegas anyways.
Yeah.
I think that there probably is a running back on them on the team right now that's better, and I think they'll draft
Zaire White.
another. Yeah.
So
I think
what
they'll
about
draft
all
another
those
one.
vacated carries
I got
from
a good
Josh
idea.
Jacobs?
I mean, I think it's a beautiful thing, but do you think Alexander is going to take over? I don't think so. I think it's going to be a timeshare.
I got an argument.
Sames.
I got an argument. Gardner Minshew threw a lot to a running back last year.
Yeah.
His name was Zach Moss.
Yeah.
Alexander Mattinson. Maybe this is vibes. Hear me out. Alexander Mattinson, when he was the backup and didn't have the expectations, was a fantasy stud, right?
Yeah, for like 2 games.
When he
a
was,
year.
because he played when he was able to.
And then when he got the starting role, he was sucked.
He shit the bed. So, what spotlight is on Alexander Mattinson in Las Vegas right now?
He's the man.
Absolutely nothing.
No, he's the man.
He's
no,
the man.
he's not the man.
So here,
Wait,
White
who
has
is-
never worked out. They're going to draft a rookie.
He's the
who I
starter
think is
right
going to
now.
overtake him.
Well, obviously he's the starter.
Well,
but
that's the spotlight.
I don't think. No, stop it.
And it's Vegas,
Alexander
baby.
Vegas.
Spotlight.
No,
Vegas,
listen.
you're wrong.
Spotlight burns different.
I'm talking like from a fantasy spotlight. Everyone is like, yes, Alexander Mattinson. Finally, we've seen him do amazing when Dalvin Cook has been hurt. He's the
Okay,
guy.
so back it
He
up.
did not-
What round are you taking Alexander Madison in?
If I'm doing
Okay.
0 RB,
No, just, okay.
Okay.
no, I would say if Alexander Mattinson fell to this, I would take him in the 6th.
Oh, that's high. That's
Yeah.
high. See,
I would take him.
yeah,
That's
no.
crazy.
I'd take him.
So you wouldn't take, who were we just talking about? You wouldn't take Cortland Sutton in the 6th, but you take Alexander Madison.
Cortland
Yes.
Sutton, he's taken in the 10th,
Yes.
but he's taking Alexander Madison.
Because there's a lot of inherited touches that
Listen,
Mattinson will be
you wanna
taking.
know who to
There's
draft?
not a-
Sutton's
hold
gonna
on.
get all the
Time
Judy's
out,
touches, though.
Time out. No Josh Jacobs. That's a lot of touches to fill. Mattinson is their starter. Mattinson is not like this is his second chance of a team. Gardner Minshew's his quarterback who made. I'm not saying he made Zach Moss. I'm saying that he gave Zach Moss a lot of production because of how he plays the game. Who's really looking at the Raiders and expecting, maybe except for Devontae Adams, who's getting drafted in the 2nd round probably. I'm saying like, hey, maybe there isn't.
I think that the fact that you're, first of all, your comparisons are shit because you just said that he's better than Cortland Sutton, and now you're saying that Madison is on the same planet as Zach Moss and JT.
I didn't say
who's
that.
the other running
I didn't
back
say
that he
that.
threw to.
I'm saying it's a plus that he's playing with Gardner Minshew, and it's a plus that the Raiders have very low expectations.
You want to know who to draft in the running back position for Las Vegas? The running back they draft in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th round, that's going to, by the end of the year, is going to be the number 1 back in Las Vegas, and I think he's going to actually produce. I don't know who that is. I think it's going to be SCM from Notre Dame. That's my prediction, but that's who you draft. You want to avoid Alexander Madison, even though he can be rhymed with a catchy song from Hamilton.
Wow.
That was a way to do that.
Wow.
That was a good bow you tied on that thing. Hey, I provided an
Alexander
argument. I gave a little
Madison.
bit of pushback. Wait, it doesn't rhyme with it. It is. Madison and Madison don't rhyme. They're the
Madison
same
and
word.
Hamilton. Alexander Hamilton.
Oh, you were singing out. Yeah, you're right. Hey, I haven't
There is your daily dose of fuck my
musicals.
life.
Yeah. Okay. Hey,
Anyways.
any honorable mentions for either MVP or avoid?
No, man.
That we just want to give a little throw
It's just,
out
there's
there?
not a lot there.
No, there is not a lot out there.
Hey, avoid Patrick Mahomes again in the top.
I was trying to figure out like who I would say could be like an honorable mention, but I think we pretty much covered anybody that I feel comfortable.
CEH.
Nah. I just think the problem with this division, there's
Hey,
no.
grab CEH late, stash him.
Well, I think you might be able to
Pacheco
get him
gets
in the
hurt, he
10th
looked
round.
good.
Yeah, you might be able to get him in
Stash
the
him.
10th round.
Why not?
Nah, I'm taking JaMychal Hasty.
No, fuck, why?
He's third on their depth chart, man.
No, CEH. He looked good last year. They drafted him.
Nah,
he knows the
avoid-
system.
Who is the Chargers' main back this year going to be?
It's Gus Edwards, man. Gus Edwards. I like Gus
I mean,
Edwards.
I think
Blow
that
his
could be
ACL
some.
out week 2.
Yeah.
Put it in the
He's
book.
a big for a
terrible.
big back. He does get injured quite a bit.
Hey, avoid Patrick Mahomes because Carson Wentz is coming for your job, man.
Man, that'd be
Signed
a
to
great
be-
story, huh?
That would be a great story.
Wentz in a Chiefs jersey is just weird for me.
I got to be honest with you, Mahomes. He's just so hard to freaking root for. He just
Mahomes.
is.
You don't like Mahomes?
I don't like his voice. I don't like his wife. I don't like his brother.
Dang, so it's just family issues for Rocky.
So what if he had a deep voice? You'd like
better?
You like that better?
Better, yeah.
And what about his wife? What would change about her?
She just never talked again.
Yeah, if she just stayed in the background.
Have you watched that show?
Opinion.
That show's pretty good.
Act like the
you didn't like her on the show?
In the background.
Okay.
You didn't like her on the show? I agree with the brother. A little annoying.
Yeah, he's a lot
bad. Is annoying. A punchable face.
Yeah, definitely. He's honestly Jake Paul without the boxing
I like Jake
skills.
Paul, so I'm not going to agree.
Yeah, I like Jake Paul now, but when Jake Paul started, he was
punchable. He was annoying. Yeah, he was punchable.
So,
a lot of kids are punchable. All right.
Wow, there's a lot of out of context things for the last 10
I'm just trying
minutes.
to give you stuff to clip, man.
No,
what are we thinking? Just on a different note altogether. What are we thinking? Mike Tyson, Jake Paul.
I think Jake Paul's going to beat his ass.
I think Mike Tyson's been bought.
You think so?
Why? What is why?
Why do you
Tyson,
think?
You think Mike Tyson, Iron Mike Tyson, would take a fight and throw it?
Yes.
He doesn't need.
Well,
the
no,
money.
there's no way. The only way to lose this fight is not being scored is a knockdown, right?
Yeah.
I don't think Mike Tyson would ever allow Jake Paul. I don't think he'd take a dive. I 100% agree with you. His pride, he would never take a dive.
That's what Jake
Paul
saying.
might.
He was saying that.
No.
Do you agree with it?
Oh, so I don't agree with.
No, you
Thank
don't.
you. Yeah, okay. I 100% don't agree with you. I think there's too much pride in Tyson. I don't think he's taking a dive.
Mike Tyson would never. He doesn't need the money.
I don't think with 16-ounce gloves that you can knock somebody out.
I think if Mike Tyson loses, then Jake Paul sucks.
Well,
and if Jake Paul wins,
jealous.
Jake Paul sucks.
Wow, are you jealous of Jake Paul?
No,
I want to see Tyson, and Jake Paul's from Cleveland, so this hurts
Jake
me to
Paul
say.
is gonna beat up Mike Tyson.
I want to see Tyson absolutely beat the shit out of.
I don't. Why? I want to know why. Can you explain to me why? Like, why do you hate Jake Paul?
I don't hate Jake Paul.
The guy's been. It's been like 4 years. He's actually trying to box.
Yeah, and he's not a terrible boxer.
So then why do you hate him?
But he hasn't boxed anybody in their prime.
You know what the problem is too?
Tyson
Who do you want him to box?
I want him to take somebody who's currently.
Do you think anybody's gonna fight him?
Yeah.
Do you think it's just him?
Oh yeah, 100%.
You're crazy.
I think the problem.
Why do people? They're afraid of him.
Why would a legitimate boxer fight Jake Paul? What's
So-
the upside?
Why would they?
Yeah.
To shut him up.
No, see, that's you're thinking like an idiot, right? If I'm a legitimate boxer,
You're making money and you're shutting up somebody who's
if
annoying.
you happen to get knocked out or lose, your career's done.
But if you're a legitimate boxer, you're not fearing Jake Paul.
Jake Paul is a legitimate boxer.
He's a legitimate boxer who's been boxing for 4 years.
and
if you're
anybody
playing,
I know, but anybody can get knocked out. So you take that chance with Jake Paul, and guess who's everybody's seeing it. You're a meme for the rest of your life.
if
your career
Tyson gets knocked out, it's only because of the length that Jake Paul.
I don't think that Jake Paul's going to knock him out.
I don't think he can.
I don't think, but I think
10-ounce gloves is regulation. He's playing with 16-ounce gloves.
I think he's going to beat him up though.
So he can hit with a pillow.
Old. Tyson's old.
He doesn't look old in his training videos.
Yeah, you've seen like how long are those clips? We're talking about a 3 round. 3-minute rounds.
I mean, you box, right? Did you ever box before, like legitimately?
High school.
So I boxed 3.5 minutes is a long time. Like
It is.
I'm going to
That's
say
what
it's
I'm
a long
saying.
time. But Tyson, he does not look like a normal 55-year-old man.
He is though.
Yeah.
He might be
Larry-
in shape.
Hey,
He's going to get beat up.
George Foreman, man, 49. 49
but do
years
you
old.
remember
knocked
those
out.
fights? I watched them.
Yeah.
He was getting beat up. I mean,
He's
but
a
he was
boxer.
just a big guy. He could take punches.
He's a slugger.
Yeah.
What I
Mike
mean,
Tyson's not a slugger.
Mike Tyson knocked out most of his fights ended in
It's not a
90
slugger,
seconds.
though. Yeah, exactly.
I
He's
don't
a
know.
power puncher. He's not a guy that's going to go
Listen, right now,
10
Mike
rounds
Tyson
throwing shots.
Mike Tyson, he won't get this
Arturo
reference.
Gatti,
right
that's a
now,
slugger.
Mike Tyson is in Russia. He's running through the snow. He's
Rocky.
training
I
in
love
a
Tyson. It's
a Rocky
training in a
movie.
barn.
Love Tyson.
You
Tyson
know
used
this?
to
Wait,
train in
you've
Jersey
seen
City.
Rocky?
No, that's a really obvious one.
I don't like that I don't like when you know things.
Well, hey, I know you should comment, you should subscribe, you should let us know how the episode was, let us know how we can improve, and you should follow us on GON Podcast everywhere you currently browse the internet. Join Chalkboard, free fantasy app. You'd be silly to not even check it out. And
having a heart attack.
you should and you should do your daily fantasy through Thrive because you get a really cool promo out of it. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.